Have you ever thought about what happens to a first love? Well, for Gi Xiao and Lu Yanchen, it turned into a decade of complete silence. They were torn apart by their families, by distance, and by two totally different worlds. I mean, she went into the high-stakes world of finance, and he became a SWAT captain on the front lines. So let's get into it. This is a story about a love that just refused to give up.
Right from the jump, the odds were stacked against them. And this one sentence, spoken years ago by Gui Xiao's dad to a young Lu Yanchen, pretty much sets the stage for everything that follows. See, this wasn't just your typical parental disapproval. It was a harsh judgment on his family, his future, his entire worthiness for their daughter. And that really brings us to the big question we're tackling today. Is love actually enough? When you've got family, money, and even life-or-death careers creating a massive wall between you, what does it take for a connection like that to actually survive? We're about to find out. Okay, so fast forward 10 years to their reunion. Just picture this, a remote, snowy gas station in this little town called Quining. A whole decade has gone by. Not one single word has passed between them. And then, suddenly, bam! They're standing face to face. You can just feel the air crackling with everything that was never said.
Now, what's so wild about this scene is just how incredibly awkward it all is. Gi Xiao's with her friends, their car's busted, and the guy who rolls up to help is none other than Lu Yanchen, now Captain Lu of the local SWAT team. He is just cold, so professional, so distant. Their first exchange is hardly even a conversation. He asks a couple of questions, she gives these short, clipped answers, and then he's just gone. It honestly feels less like a reunion and more like the final nail in the coffin.
To really get why this moment is so heavy, we have to rewind. We're going back to a time before the uniforms and the different worlds came between them. Back to when they were just two kids in high school, making a promise that would end up defining the next 10 years of their lives.
You know, their story started pretty simply. Her cousin introduced them, and that spark was there from day one. After graduation, it turned into that kind of all-consuming first love we all know. But the most important moment, the real game changer, came right before he had to leave for the police academy. They knew they were about to face long distance, so they made a pact.
This right here, this single sentence, is the absolute foundation of their entire relationship. This wasn't just some sweet teenage thing they said. For them, this was an ironclad vow. It was the #1 rule. And that's exactly why their eventual separation, which he initiated, felt like such an impossible, devastating betrayal.
So if they had this unbreakable rule, what on earth went wrong? Why the 10 years of silence? Well, the answer is in the collision of their two completely different worlds and a secret intervention that Gi Xiao had no idea about.
So here's the bombshell that Gui Xiao never knew. They didn't just drift apart. No, they were pushed. Her own father, seeing Lu Yanshan's messy family situation and uncertain future, went right behind his daughter's back. He showed up at the police academy, confronted this young kid, and basically told him he wasn't good enough, that he would only bring trouble and chaos into Gui Xiao's life. He pressured him to be responsible and just let her go.
And that brings us right back to the present. Because when they meet again, all those same issues from the past, they haven't magically disappeared. Oh no. In fact, they've gotten way bigger and a whole lot more complicated over the last decade.
I mean, just look at this comparison. It lays it all out perfectly. These two are living in completely different universes. And we're not just talking about lifestyle choices here. This is about two clashing value systems. Her world is all about stability, reputation, and finding a suitable partner. His world, it's a constant fight for survival, weighed down by family duty, massive debt, and literal physical danger every single day.
And these aren't just abstract ideas. They have very real, very messy consequences. Lu Yaochen's father actually tries to force him into an arranged marriage with a woman named Zhao Minshan just to cancel a huge debt. So Gui Xiao's dad's worst fears about his family bringing instability, they're kind of coming true. And then you layer his incredibly dangerous job right on top of all of that, it's a mess.
This really gets to the core of how Gui Xiao's father thinks. In his mind, he's just being a protector. From his point of view, loving his daughter means shielding her from the financial ruin and the drama that Lu Yanchen's family represents. It's a very practical, if pretty cold, view of love that's all about avoiding risk.
And then you have this. Wow, talk about a complete 180. For Lu Yanchen's father, marriage isn't about love or happiness or even stability. It's a business transaction. It's a financial tool to fix his own mistakes, and he has absolutely no problem sacrificing his own son's future to do it. So, with all this family pressure, all this debt, and all this danger, you have to wonder, why do they even try to make it work? Because underneath all that noise, that original connection, that feeling of being each other's home is like a magnetic pull they just can't fight.
As they start to spend more time together in Qingding, you can just feel that icy wall from their first reunion start to melt. That painful, awkward silence gets replaced by this quiet understanding that's always been there between them. It doesn't take them long to realize that 10 years and a world of difference did absolutely nothing to change how they really feel.
Now this is so important. They don't just accidentally fall back together, they actively fight their way back. Lu Yanchen starts dismantling the barriers, one by one. He confronts the Zhao family, he cancels that forced engagement, and he takes on the million-yuan debt all by himself. He frees himself so he can be with her. This time, they are making a conscious choice to be together, as adults who know exactly what they're up against.
And this, right here, is what the title of their story is all about. The road home isn't about going back to a childhood house. It's about their decade-long, painful journey back to each other. Because for both of them, home has never been a place on a map. It's always been the safety, the comfort, and the absolute acceptance they only find when they're together.
At the end of the day, their story really pushes us to ask this question. Faced with what seems like an impossible mountain of obstacles from family and from fate, Gi Xiao and Lu Yanchen prove that some connections are just built to last. It makes you wonder, right? What is it about another person that can make them feel so much like home, that you'd be willing to walk any road, no matter how hard, just to get back to them?